Hello, I'm Zebras Dark One, and this time on What's on eShop, we have September's new release highlights, starting with Witch Spring, an RPG about a young witch seeking the power to survive from a brutal witch hunt. I've got a real JRPG mindset right now, so this appeals to me. Next, we have another Ace Attorney collection. How many Ace Attorney games are there? Objection! Step into the shoes of Miles Edgeworth in a full HD remaster of both investigation games from the Nintendo DS, including the usual quality of life improvements and extras, you know the drill. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, Yars Rising. This is featured in a few directs, and every time I see it I think, oh, this looks interesting. Or it doesn't. A 2D action adventure by WayForward based on one of Atari's richest and best known titles. I've never heard of it. Now the console version of Besiege, for those of you who are both creative and destructive. A physics-based building game where you construct medieval siege engines with touchscreen support. There's a bunch of creative games, like Finger Cuts, a super low-priced 2D physics puzzler. Or Flipbook, a frame-by-frame animator. Or how about learning Japanese through photography? This actually seems like a nice way to learn a new language. What's this? What's this? What's this over here? Although I hear Japanese is one of the hardest languages to learn. A lot of people were excited about the release of the Plucky Squire, with its mix of 2D and 3D gameplay, set around a children's storybook. It's an interesting idea to have characters jump out of a book into the real world. After the remaster of the 1992 game, which originally only released in Japan and weirdly Scandinavia for some reason, we have a modernized sequel with music by David Wise. That's the guy that did all those great Donkey Kong Country tunes. There's a whole bunch of blasts from the past this month, starting with the classic Worms Armageddon, which was from 1999 and is probably still the Worms game everybody thinks of. And Rugrats Adventures in Gameland? Who would have thought we'd get a new Rugrats game in 2024? And this is new, I think, even though you can switch into 8-bit mode. And if that's not enough, what about the Karate Kid as a beat-em-up? Now this does look good. It covers the first 3 films, and they've got the likenesses right. I am tempted. Is it wishlist worthy? I'll put it on. I like those films. How about the ultimate throwback, Marvel vs. Capcom? This is already on my wishlist. I haven't had time to watch anyone play this, but I'm not aware of any complaints. 7 rare games in one. Rollback netcode, a bunch of extras. You can't really argue against it, can you? And lastly, we have Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, a zombie fighting cheerleader back in HD. The original 2012 version sold 1.25 million copies. It's got that certain kind of humour to it. Wild Guys is a hybrid first-person shooter / strategy game and spiritual sequel to Void Guys. I thought it looked familiar. When was Void Guys? May 2020? I think these two have a great comic book 3D art style. It's kinda giving me SteamWorld vibes as well. Deep Beyond is a haunting first-person thriller about a deep-sea explorer and the mystery of her father's disappearance. Also with an interesting comic art style. There's another installment of NBA, if you're into that. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. Or football if you prefer. Kinda seems like easy money for EA. I'd much rather try Looney Tunes Sports, even if it includes basketball and football, alongside tennis and golf, in a very similar way to what Mario has already done. How about Buzzed, a fast-paced run and dash platformer with a tiny little ZX robot? Doesn't look too bad. Casual to hardcore, made by a single developer. I also think this game looks good as well. A cozy exploration game where you drive around from place to place, then get out and solve puzzles. No combat, no death, no timer. I like it. Cozy games have really increased in a big way. Beyond Galaxyland is a humorous sci-fi RPG inspired by classic fish-out-of-water space movies. Explore a solar system of extraordinary worlds with your pistol-wielding pet guinea pig on an epic quest to save Earth. Disney's Epic Mickey, a remake of the 2010 Wii game. Demo available. This was like Disney's version of Super Mario Sunshine, and was well liked at the time. As Mickey, you travel through a wasteland of forgotten Disney characters, with only your platforming skills and a magic paintbrush. Maybe the demo's worth a go. And to end the month, of course we've got to focus on Zelda. Literally, in Echoes of Wisdom. This is definitely on the list, and I'm definitely gonna get it. Just not yet. I like that it uses the same art style as Link's Awakening, but tries something different with Zelda. Was it Spirit Tracks or Phantom Hourglass where you kind of controlled Zelda? Those are still on the yet to play list. Anyway, we'll finish with the top 10 new release chart. Starting with a 10 pizza tower. And You Go Girl at 9, the Gold Digger Sim, and new at 8, The Undead in Warzone. At number 7, a tasty new Caravan Sandwich. Page 6 sees the plucky squire popping off and popping out. Down 4 places, thank goodness you're still here. At number 4, Comics vs Games Fight It Out. The ultimate number 3 football club. New at 2, Everyone Enjoys Farming in Fabledom. And September's new number 1 on pre-orders alone, it's the little princess with a whole lot of wisdom. Well, that's another month done. We're actually getting close to the end of the year. Of course the new Zelda, especially a traditional style Zelda, is the big game for September. I'm gonna get it, although I still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, if you can believe that. I am a Zelda fan, I promise. So I'll see you again next month for another What's on eShop.